Welcome to Elkhorn SmokeHouse. Today we're going to work on some ribs. I've got a rack of pork spare ribs here. You can see we got a skirt here. I've trimmed a little bit of the fat off the surface there of the skirt. We're just going to take a knife, clean this up a little bit. And what this does is allows you to get the thickness of the rack of ribs fairly uniform. My wife is out of town this weekend coaching, so we're going to have some meat this weekend. We're going to start off with some flank steak tonight, and we're going to have these ribs tomorrow night. Really excited about these. So you got to kind of get over the top of the rib bone when you do this. Careful not to slice your fingers off. Okay, we'll just set that to the side here. Okay, now that we've got that done, a little more trimming on this. So it's fat off. What you want to do is take this skin off, this silver skin, on the back side of the ribs. And I've seen a lot of guys do this, and they just rip it off in one fell swoop. I am not that good. This takes me a little bit longer to do than most. Get a good start here. It's kind of hard to get a hold of. If you work it slow, and keep it fairly intact. It's starting to separate a little bit there. So the skin is almost impossible to bite through. So by taking this off, you have a nice, tender, well-cooked rib. It's also very slippery. Prep is the most time-consuming part of it, but it's also the most important. Get a good trim product. It's gonna pay off for you in the end when you go to eat these. Pork ribs, you want to go ahead and leave some fat on them. You're gonna cook this with the meaty side up. The fat will render down through. Keep your ribs nice and moist. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take these and I'm going to split them so they'll fit better in the smoker. You can see where that knuckle is on the top. Find that rib. Here's the end of the other rib. So the last one's going to be a little bit curved. And here's the rib. As you get to the end of the rib, go around the corner a little bit. There you go. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take the Elkhorn SmokeHouse barbecue rub. We're going to work that in. That into all the meat. This is going to set the stage for us. Put these back in the fridge. They'll sit overnight. Let that rub sink in. Nice and flavorful. All the marrow and the bones, the rib bones. When you cook them, really helps bring out the flavor. try to use bone-in cuts when you can when you're cooking meat, because it just adds to the flavor. Just about done here. Okay, we'll put this on a cookie or a bowl. You can use a cookie sheet, like a jelly roll pan or something. A flat cookie sheet's not real great because you'll get the juice around there, but a bowl and cover it up. And we'll pick this up tomorrow. So we're going to put our ribs in the smoker. We've got the smoker set to 200 degrees. They sat in the rub all night. Put these on for about an hour or so without the smoke, without the wood chips in it, and then we'll add some wood chips. We sprayed the racks down with some non-stick spray, a little bit light, so hit that with some more rub. I don't think you can get too much rub on those. You want to get the rib side down, the meaty side up. That way if there's any fat on top left, it'll render down into the meat, make it nice and tasty. A little bit more. Oh, these are going to be so good. Okay. Like I said, we'll put those in for about an hour without the smoke, and then we'll come back out and add the chips, and then we'll pull them out and put them on the grill. Okay, we've gotten our first part of the smoking process done. Nice amount of smoke on there. Our can of apple juice. Splash a little apple juice on there. Keep them nice and moist. Wrap those again. And I just poked a hole in my... Okay. So this will keep the ribs nice and moist and allow us to steam them a little bit. And we're going to crank this up from a temperature of 200 and go to 225. Okay. Done. Crank that up to 225, and we'll pull those out in a couple hours, and we'll put them on the barbecue. We pulled the ribs out of the smoker. See, it's pulling off the bone there. We are definitely ready to go on here. These are pretty thick spare ribs. Oh yeah, you can see the little bend to them. So what we'll do is get them on here. your little sauce work. Okay, so what we'll do is turn the heat down just a touch. Little onion piece sticking in there. And the homemade sauce. Sauces today because we're almost out of the homemade stuff. So we'll spread this around, then we'll flip them over once this starts to get warmed up, and then we'll flip that and sauce the other side. And we'll do that 2 rounds, and then we'll take a peek at them right before we get ready to eat, after I get them sliced up. Show you the smoke ring and what the finished rib looks like. We've been on the grill for about probably 20 minutes, 15 minutes maybe. Nice juicy piece of meat there. Just lay those out. We'll do the spares like that. You see it squirting out. So Morgan, how's the rib?